Rome at War, Volume 1, Hannibal at Bay, Battle of Tunis, 255 BC. Okay, so I'm going to push on with just a little bit more play. This whole demonstration has been far less effective as it could have been. I have been plagued with changing ideas on how to interpret and enforce diagonal adjacency. Long story short, from Consim World forums, I found where the designer stated that his intent was that it's any units, friendly or enemy, on the diagonals block diagonal adjacency. This is actually, I'm not going to be able to show it here yet. Well, won't be able to show it here with this game, maybe in the future, but I think that stricter definition of diagonal adjacency is going to change things. It's going to make it more of a challenge to set up charges, and well, it's just going to make things different. I do think it's going to affect play. Anyways, long story short, I just mentioned that because I printed out the Consim World forum post with the designer's intent stated, printed out, and I'm putting it in the box for future play so that I don't go down this road again. The rules are definitely very misleading, very confusing, and apparently the rules version as printed in the 3rd edition rules was not what the designer intended. Okay, so I'm just going to push on. I'm going to push on and try to at least get a sense of this stricter interpretation of diagonal adjacency. I think the Xanthopus still has 2 activations here, so he only has the 2 cavalry wings, so he's going to use his cavalry. I think I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to activate Bowstar and not do anything with him. And then I'll activate Hamilcar over here with the Carthaginian cavalry, and I will have them do something, at least attack the Legion here in its flank. Okay, so there is no artillery. There's going to be no charging. So I'm going to go right to movement. This Carthaginian cavalry is going to move here, so it's diagonal. Movement is okay because both of the flanking areas are clear of units. So moves there. And at this point I remembered to reconsider during the command phase, when I'm looking at tracing command from the army commander to the formation commanders, at the same time, that's funny, it's not listed in the sequence of play, but at the same time, you have to make sure units are within the command span, the command radius of their formation leader. And if they're not, they're out of command for the whole turn. And so that is another point where you're going to need some type of out of command markers of some sort, because you're going to have to remember that. But I don't remember units getting out of command very often in the past anyways. So that's movement. That's it. So we're going to go to assault. Let's do... This unit, by the way, is in this Legion's flank. The dividing line, the center line, draws out and enters Area 64. So let's walk through the assault here first. This, of course, would be a very bad idea tactically, but I want to walk through locking shields because I believe the Legion here is going to be eligible to attempt locking shields. Ooh. Well, how many minutes am I into this play session? Already got interesting. Another rules question. I have no idea whether this is covered in the rules at all. All right, this is locking shields. Locking shields is the first step of the assault procedure. If a long unit has an enemy in its flank, but not rear, but has no enemy in its, no adjacent enemy to its front, it may try to change facing, basically face the enemy unit in its flank. Well, does this count as being in the Legion's front? Technically, of course. But why should that matter if this unit can't attack it because of diagonal adjacency? By diagonal adjacency, this unit cannot attack these enemy, and vice versa, because there's enemy in this adjacent area. So I understand saying that the enemy's in the front of the Legion. Again, why does it matter if these enemy can't attack the Legion right now? Again, I have no idea whether this is covered, but I can only assume, it's not even an assumption. I'm just going to go with they can't attack, so they can't be a factor. Yeah. So what you do is you do an area morale check. You subtract 1 if the unit is a phalanx. This is not a phalanx, this is a Legion, but its morale is 8. There's no way it can fail. So it automatically locks shields. So it automatically rotates to face the attacker there. The enemy. Okay, so that's step 1 of assault. So now Carthaginian cavalry, they came around to try to flank the Legion, did not succeed in that, and is now facing head-on the Legion. Then the defending player makes a morale check. Again, he can't fail. Okay, so I guess we're going on to withdrawal and advance. They can't withdraw. There is no advance, so we're going straight on to combat. Now I should say up front that, 1 weak Carthaginian cavalry unit with, below average morale should not have expected to be able to charge around and beat the Legion. Okay, I was just exercising the rules here, but Carthaginians roll 4-1-1. They only hit on 6s, so they got no hits. The Legion rolled 7 dice for its 7 strength. They get +1 because they're attacking an area that is 1/2 or less than 1/2 of their morale. The Legion's morale is 8, Carthaginians' morale is 3, so they get +1 to their die roll. So the 5 and the 6 hit for 2 hits destroys the Carthaginian cavalry. Okay, I'm going to do this combat here, but I just saw something to remember. It's hard to tell where you're going to find rules in this set of rules. I was supposed to subtract 1 from the area morale during combat if the largest long unit is being attacked in the flank or rear. So I guess the morale check for locking shields applies as during combat. It still wouldn't have made a difference because the area morale of 8 would have been lowered to 7. Still can't fail on 1 die roll. Okay, over here though, the legions, so now these Carthaginians, with their leader Hamilcar are attacking Kota and the Legion here in the flank with the Velites. The first thing is the Legion is going to try to lock shields. They have a current morale of 5. Kota doesn't contribute anything because Kota's tactical rating is 0. But to subtract 1 from the area's morale, if there's one long unit present, use the morale of the long unit. So I use 5 instead of the Velites 2. I know that. So it is 5 minus 1 for being attacked in the flank here. So the area morale is 4. Ooh, they roll a 6. Okay, so they roll a 6, so they did not successfully lock shields. So the Legion is being attacked in its flank, but the question is, what about the Velites? Kota is a leader present, but Kota is not the formation leader. Yeah, so first, are they really attacking in the flank? I guess even before that, the defender still has to make the morale check. I really wonder why they added this extra step, frankly. I really do. But anyways, it's just a standalone step, number 2 of any assault. The defender is always going to check morale, and the defender is always going to lose 1 step if he fails. I'm not really sure why, but anyways, they pass the morale check, so there's not that. They're not withdrawing. They can't withdraw. There is no advance after withdrawal, so we're going on to combat. So now I've got to figure out how this is handled. We have a long unit and a short unit. Yeah. Okay, it's fairly clear with respect to the long unit alone. These Carthaginian cavalry attacking in the flank, they're going to add 1. They're going to have a +1 die roll modifier. And the Legion is attacking out of its flank, or, yeah, defending on its flank, defending against an enemy in its flank. So it's fighting back with 75% strength. Oh, I guess I'm rounding up. So 3/4 of 5 rounded up. Okay, but the question is, what does that mean for the Velites? The Velites aren't part of that, so... Okay, I'm not really sure what it is, so I'm just moving forward. The attacker, it's simultaneous, but the attacker will roll first. He's got a strength of 3 and 4. Morale's 4 to 5, not a big deal. 7. Hamilcar has a tactical rating of 1. That's the 1 in the center. That's tactical rating. So that's another die. So Carthaginians are rolling 8. And they get +1, I guess, for the Legion. That's, I don't know. So it gets 6, 5, 5. Get 3 hits. The Romans, 75% of 5 rounded up is 4. And I guess it's 1 for the Velites? For 5, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I don't think they get any... No, defender don't get any die roll modifiers. Ooh, they get nothing. They rolled very low. Huh. Okay. 3 hits on the Romans. Okay, here the long unit has to take the first. Then the first step loss in that area must come from a long unit. So 1 for lowering the E to the F step. I guess then 2 for the velites, and then the F will go down to the G, which is sounds like a small, yep, it's a small unit. It's the G level. Then we have to roll for leader loss. Okay, 6 is not even close to a leader loss. Okay, well, that was that, I guess. Okay, I'm done playing. While the Romans still have 3 fairly good legions in the fight, the Carthaginians simply have so much more. I mean, they still have most of their elephants. Not most. They still have, what, more than half of their elephants. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They have less than half of their elephants. But they still have elephants. Still have 4 phalanxes, or 3 phalanxes in a legion. Still have a fair amount of cavalry. In my opinion, one of the best looking war games out there, but play is really frustrating. I think my play here was probably soured by not just misinterpreting diagonal adjacency, but actually going back and forth several times. And I didn't show text in the rule set. The rule set is so lax in writing style and format. It's not worth it to show what I'm talking about, but the rule book is, to put it nicely, it's confusing. Does it contradict itself? I guess some might say it contradicts itself. I'll just be nice and say it's really confusing. I think I have diagonal adjacency straight now. Still don't know now what the full implications of that are. Yeah, that's Rome at War. This is Volume 1, Hannibal at Bay. Volume 2 is Fading Legions, and Volume 3 is Queen of the Celts. The exact same series rulebook, but it is nice that you have graphically and in scenarios, you have 3 distinct games. Yeah. What else can I say? It's I will try it again in the future after I've gotten this frustration with the system out of my veins.